Hello, maurieo. So this is a test question that's coming up next week for my students, and it's about resolving a leveling field note, something like this. So I've had a request to ask about how to go about it, and well, here it is. This is the video. This is what I would do if I was in your shoes in the exam. So the first thing I would do, I've got it on an Excel spreadsheet here just to make it a little bit quicker, I'm hoping. So the first thing that I would do is add up the backsides, and well, you do it on your calculator. I'm going to do it using the auto sum feature of Excel. Boom, there we go, done. And don't worry about the intermediates. You'll notice these little grey boxes, and they're where you put the answers. Yeah, I've made it easy for you. You put the answers in there, and if you've left one empty, you've missed out an answer, and if you're putting one in one of these white boxes, you've done it wrong. Don't do that. Be like this guy. Okay, so I'm going to add up the four sites as well using auto sum. There we go. Boom! 15,652. And you'll notice that this field note is going from a known mark to another known mark. Unlike what we've done in our practicals, where we've gone from one mark and ended up back on the same mark. So our backsides and foresights should be equal. But in this case, the backsides and foresights will not be equal, and the difference between them, of course, will be the difference in height that we've measured between those two existing marks. So what we do here is we just find out what that difference in height is. That there minus that there. Backside, sum of the backsides minus the sum of the foresights, 0.767. Now, at some point we do have to work out the difference in height, but we know what the difference in height is. Well, we can work it out here, the same story, but we'll work it out from the height. So it's equal to this height here minus that one, and that's 0.763, which is close but not equal to that. So that's encouraging, because we know, as we know, we've got adjustments to make. We're not perfect, so that's not too bad. So let's carry on now and work out our rises and falls. And to do that, we generally take the furthest left one from the line above, and the next mark on the line below, and we work it out. So if it's positive, it's a rise, and if it's negative, it's a fall. So this one here, we've got a negative number here, which means we've had the staff upside down, measuring a roof. Oh yeah, there we go, measuring a roof. And so I'm going to take that from there. So let's see, that one's equal to that minus that. Gives us a positive value. So that's from the benchmark to the roof. So you'd expect that to be a rise. And then here's the next one. You're going from the roof down to CP1. So you'd expect that to be a fall. And again, it's equal to this one minus this one. All right, now let's have a look. What's the next one? 2, 2. So that's going to be a fall because the foresight there. So that's equal to that minus that. As predicted, it's a fall. Now, looking here, big number, little number. Oh, that'll be a rise. Equals that minus that. Intermediates, Yeah, so that number's bigger, so we've definitely got a rise here, well, bigger than the next number below, so equals that minus that. Yep, and it's positive. That's good. Now here we've got, oh, this number's bigger, so that's going to be a 4. So that's equal to that minus that. Okay. Yep, and I'm just at this point checking that I am recording. It's very frustrating going through and doing these and finding out that you didn't have the record button turned on. Right, so now this one here, oh, this is going to be a rise, so that's equal to that minus that. Yep, and this one, oh, a fall here, I'm pretty sure, equals that minus that. Yep, and these are negative, but if you're doing them by hand, you don't need to put the negative in. It's by implication that falls are negative. So I show them negative here. In fact, if I was doing them on a Excel spreadsheet, you know, a lot of them, I'd probably combine the rise and fall columns together so that I just had positive rise, negative fall, but they're separated out here. So here we go. Next one. Oh, that's going to be a rise because this number here is bigger than this number here. Okay, and similarly, I think this next one, no, this one's going to be a fall, so that's equal to that minus that. That's a fall. Yeah, this next one here is a rise, equal that minus that. It's not necessary to do each one individually. There is a trickier way of doing it, but in the spreadsheet situation minus that. Okay, so there we are. That's all our rises and falls done, and they're just done from these numbers here, from this arithmetic here. So you know, that should be all good. You know, any mistakes are mistakes in arithmetic. Alright, so now we do another auto sum and we just add up all these rises. Yep, and then we also add up all the falls over here. And that's in there. Auto sum. Yep. Boom, put that in there like that. Right, and then we subtract them just because the rises, we should get the same difference in height as here. So let's go equal, because we've got the negative sign, all we have to do is add them. If we didn't have the negative sign, we'd have to subtract the falls, but it's already there. 0.767, they're equal. Now at this point, if they're not equal, if you're doing it by hand, you've mucked up, you've done it wrong. So you need to go back and check at this point. So you might have added these up wrong, or you might have done the rises and falls wrong. So you need to go through and check each one. Typically I'd check the rises and falls first. It's quite easy to get them in the wrong column. But we're all good. Spot on the money. Right, to the next step, the raw level. So we know that that's the known value there. We're going to hold that, so we're not going to have any adjustment there, and it's going to be the same there as there. So that's all good. And then what we've got to do is we've got to add our rises, subtract our falls. So I'm just going to be a little bit tricky here and go it equals this number here plus the rise, and so that it'll work also in the fall columns when I copy it, I'll just go, and because my falls are already negative, plus there. Okay, 76,397, so that's 74.321 plus that. Now if I just copy that formula all the way down, you'll see that it gets them all, and they're cumulative. So 76,397 minus that is that, minus that there, plus that, and you'll see all the way down to here. So what goes on here? What goes in here? Right, so let's just check that we've got it right, and in here we're going to put equals this here minus this, 0.767, that old familiar 0.767. So that tells us that we've got to the end okay. We still could have transposed some numbers in here or got them roundabout, but generally we're all good, so that's fine. And 0.763 and there, and we can see here that our what our correction is, and well, we could work that out by it's equal to that minus that. In other words, it's what we have to correct this by. We have to take off 4 millimeters and 0, and then that 4 millimeters we want to spread that as evenly as we possibly can through the whole thing, but we don't do it in the intermediates. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do here is just highlight where the intermediates are. We just change those there like that, so we don't bother with those. Now what we can do is we see over here that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 back sides. So that means we've had 8 setups, and we've got a 4 millimeter error that we want to distribute between 8 back sides. So if you divide 4 by 8, you get a half. And essentially, you're going to go with half a millimeter per setup. But we only work to millimeters, we don't work to half millimeters. So we're just going to, I'm just going to keep it, I won't apply, I'll round up at the last moment. So I'm going to put 0 there in that one. And then here I'm going to put minus 0.001. Okay, so I'm going to, in the second setup, 1 mil. And then I'm going to, so it's like 0.5, 1, and I'm going to round up here. Then this one here will just be the same as that one. And then I'll round up here, minus 0.002. Like that. Okay. And yeah, 0.002, and then that'll be 2.5. So we'll just keep that the same. And then we'll do the round up here, minus 0.03, and then we'll keep that the same. And then for the last one, up to 0.004. So that's it. We've spread it. Okay. Didn't like that. Minus 0.003. Should get rid of that. Okay. So that's just some sort of copying thing. Don't worry. It's all good. Okay. So that's it done. So now these just get, hang on, there's these here. So these just are the same as the one above. So see, 0, and then so we do them as a second pass. Again, minus 0.001. Okay, and then these ones here will all be the same. All right, so that's them sorted. So they get isolated out at the first. They're not part of the adjustment. They just have the same adjustment as the back sight associated with their setup. Okay, so the back sight associated with their setup. So there's the back sight associated with that intermediate. There's the back sight associated with those intermediates. All right. Oh, there's another one of those damn things. Okay. All right, that's got rid of that. All right, now these here, all they do is they just add across. So it's equal to that plus that. Remember, we've got it signed correctly. It's got a negative sign. Yep. And then we just copy all of those down to there. And 76. Yeah, and it actually agrees with the model answers that I've got, which are there on my other screen. Just saying. So it's all pretty good. All right. Bingo. Yep. Hey. Oh, hang on. There's a grey. There's one grey box not filled out. Ooh, that's worth a mark. So that there is, many ways you can do it, but that's actually equal to that minus that. All right. That's our adjustment based on our heights that we've got. And there you are. Bada bing, bada boom. It's all done. 9 or 10 marks. Remember a couple of little tips to count the back sights. That'll tell you how many setups there were, especially if you're going on to determine the error. Back sights, there'll be the equal number of foresights as well. And yeah, just fill in the grey areas. And yep, Robert's your father's brother. You'll be as good as gold. Go for it. Enjoy yourself, and I hope you go well on the test. Cheers. Feel legit. This has been a maurieo presentation, recorded live in our studio at Ngaruawahia, Aotearoa, New Zealand, the land of the long white cloud, place where Kiwis live, in a paradise we like to call God's own country.